About 12 o'clock, getting started on some removal of batted material. Assessing the whole situation, we assume 15 yards of concrete at 4,000 psi or greater. Grout mix to resurface the eroded concrete. As you can tell, the texture is down to the bluestone of the original concrete. There's also some minor details that goes into each part of the rooms. For instance, here we've got somewhat of a tripping hazard, which we're going to taper out about 12 inches so that there's no worry for forklift traffic or anybody to worry about their watching their step. We've also got some eroded concrete. Approximately an extra yard to fill and make sure that everything is secure so that our actual topping, cementitious urethane coating, has something to bond to that's sturdy for the floor. You can also see there's been quite a bit of trench drains installed here. This is the boiler room right now, which actually has fairly good profile. Where the concrete is not eroded too bad. It should just have 2 passes of a heavy-duty degreaser and a slight diamond grind to create a nice tooth or profile for our topping to have something to bite to. Again, more eroded concrete. Also, you'll notice a detail around the drains. We install what's called a keyway. Which enables almost like a J channel for our material to flow and grip into, allowing for 3/8 inch or better for the material to bite in there so we aren't feather edging anything. This allows for, ensures the best bond possible. As we enter this room, you'll notice a consistently aggressive erosion of concrete. It's down to about a bluestone. I would approximate about 20 years of wear and tear from grease, oils, fats, caustics. And as you can see, actually up into the lintels of the drains, the trench drains that they have existing, you have approximately 3/4 of an inch nominally. Built up in order for a good flow to the top of the drain lintels. We also have a few bird baths or low spots that we'll be removing with our 15 yards of concrete. I would approximate about 70 to 80% of the work being done in here. Project size is approximately 5,000 square feet, if I'm not mistaken, where it will encompass approximately 3.5 days due to production that we don't shut down. We come in approximately 12 o'clock on a Saturday and get out at about 12 p.m. on a Sunday night, giving us a day and a half per weekend to ensure that we don't disturb the production and give them ample time for cure rates on our material. The material itself approximately needs 6 hours to get back into full production. So we'll be leaving at 12 o'clock p.m. on Sunday, and they will be ready to get back into production at 6 a.m. Monday. We're giving them about a 6-hour buffer zone, so they'll get back on here somewhere around 10 o'clock or so to ensure that we have a good, nice dehydration of concrete and a good, nice cure rate on our urethane topping. Now over here we should be installing approximately 2.5 inches in the far right corner because the slab is sunken a bit to make sure that we have a good, nice flow of water to our sump here. This ensures that the water, grease, oils, fats don't sit on the the material for an extended period of time and give our floor the longest possible lifespan. Once we're done with the concrete work today, tomorrow we'll come back in the AM. We'll install our cementitious urethane topping at approximately somewhere between 1/8 to 3/8, depending on area, with a 30 grit mesh sand to ensure that we have the best anti-slip protection, because these gentlemen are working on quite a greasy surface. And then finally encapsulating the sand or broadcast material with, again, another cementitious urethane topping at approximately 1/16 inch in total, giving us about a 1/2 inch of floor topping, including the concrete material, nominally. In other words, throughout the entire project. We'll also be detailing the right angles on the curbing, finishing all edges, and ensuring that there's no delaminated or disbonded concrete. Total project time is approximately 40 hours or so on the project for approximately 5,000 square feet. This is Steve with High Performance Systems, taking a look at our finished product at our Georgia project here. An overview on the project. We had 4 days to do this, 2 separate mobilizations, Saturday night into Sunday, giving us a little bit of cure time into Monday. Approximately 40 hours of a window between the 2 weekends themselves. What we did here was we installed about 15 yards of concrete to get the floors up to level, allow them to pitch smoothly into the trench drains and get over the metal angle iron of the drains themselves. We also did some rehab of the slab where it was the concrete had eroded, as well as a cementitious urethane base coat and a cementitious urethane top coat to allow for thermal shock, as these plants have varying temperatures over 200 degrees, oil, grease, chemicals, caustic cleansers, and forklift traffic throughout every day. So we'll take a look at the areas that we took a look at the beginning of this project. As you can see, this side is done for the most part. We're doing our final day walkthrough with our finishing touches. Over here, we rehabbed a ramp to allow for no trip hazards and a seamless transition. If you remember the texture from the previous video, we're back to a flat texture. With a good anti-slip, we went thin on the top coat, did 2 layers of top coat actually here, and installed a 30 grit mesh sand. As you can see the detail here, what we call keying out. What that does is allow our material to have a good footing into the floor itself. And as you can see from the focus of the video, it allows all the water to drain properly into the trench or trough and not sit there, so that it gives our material the best lifespan, gives the workers less time on cleanup. Also over here, we extended this ramp where it was just a 90-degree into a slope. Taking away any trip hazards. We also removed about 1 yard of concrete in this area where the concrete itself eroded down to earth. Cleaned up their curbing system. And put on our cementitious urethane with the top coat. Now, as you can see before, this area was pretty badly eroded. Now these guys went right back into production Monday, so as you can see, it got dirty pretty quickly. What we've done through today on our finishing day here, we removed all drains, cleaned the drains to make sure that we had no overage of material and that they could be removed easily. Walked the plant with a fine-tooth comb to make sure all bonds were good. Any finishing touches were clean. Did we got any overage on anything? As you recall, these pumps actually were taken out to allow for a seamless transition. What we did here was we actually installed our material in one day, topped it, did the concrete work around it, and then the following weekend came back to put our material down to ensure that our concrete got a good amount of time to dehydrate. And yet make sure that we had a good enough pitch around these pumps that are permanently fixed, but to make sure that we didn't leave any low spots for the water to sit and erode the concrete or disturb the metal around the pump legs. In this area, we actually had used about 6 yards of concrete to fill about 4 inches or more, actually, probably more, about 6 inches off of these walls and create a new pitch. The slab had started to sink in the back area, and if you recall, the sump drain was actually about 1.5 inches lower than or higher than the actual concrete, so we got us up to grade. And this area should only take about 10 minutes to clean down, whereas before it may have even taken as long as 2 hours. So just to recap, we used 2 weekends, provided the company with 0 shutdown time, installed our cementitious base coat as well as top coat, and got these guys back into running condition in about 40 hours with 6 men and a crew. Installed about 15 yards of concrete, and just cleaning up now. For more on this, we'll actually have a pictorial available on highperfsystems.com, including some before and after photos. Or you can reach us at 800